Overpass, par for the course. Overpass, it's 4 for 4 at Ascot, wins another Winterbottom.
Today's midweek preview for Morley Mitsubishi, the home of the Mitsubishi Triton. Drive away the 4x2 Triton for $33,990 today. Go to Morley Mitsubishi, 212 Walter Road, Morley, or morleymitsubishi.com.au.
All right, welcome to the midweek preview. Dickers, you're still here. Good morning.
Very good morning, Taylor. Great to see you again.
Scott, how do you do?
I do excellently.
Good to
TC?
hear. Good to hear. I'd welcome in Macca, but we did test the headphones before and now we've changed. How are we going?
We did indeed. Off the bench, the emergency headset there.
Okay.
I felt that one was feeling a bit limp in the arm.
Okay.
It was drifting away down just below my chin line.
Yeah, nothing worse than
which would have
limpness.
been inaudible for our friends listening into the show this morning. So we had to think very quickly.
Yep. All right, catch your breath. Just relax.
I've only gone 2 metres and I'm
You're
blowing
fitting
up.
well. Yeah, you're fitting well in here. Had a man in the studio chafe from a golf cart, so try and work that out.
He what?
Got chafe after playing golf, but we were in a cart.
In a cart?
Yeah. Couldn't quite work that out, but anyway. Just waiting for Shaun O'Donnell to get on the line, padding for a little bit.
Okay.
So other than that, what do we think of the meeting?
Well, I was just saying to Scott off air a few moments ago, I thought it was a really interesting program back at Belmont today, and a lot of horses coming out of the barrier trials, and we're thinking, they've got scope, they've got future. Then we start to look at some of the horses that they've beaten in the trials, and we haven't been able to find them with a periscope in some instances. There's a really good one back in action this afternoon, but then you start to contemplate what price is worthy of taking and when is it too short, and I refer to Delta Sun. We see him there. Overall, I just think that with these new horses starting to come through, the spring 3-year-olds, it's an exciting time. You don't quite know what you're going to get, but we're looking forward to it with a level of anticipation.
Absolutely. Looking forward to the full preview too, courtesy of Morley Mitsubishi on this Wednesday morning, and looking forward to seeing Shaun O'Donnell in action. He joins us on the preview. Donga, a good morning to you.
Yeah, good morning, boys. How are we today?
Very well, Shaun. Great to have a chat to you. How do we find you?
Always good, Diggers. I'm fighting fit, ready to go.
Good to hear. Good to hear. Great to have you on board this morning. And it's great to see 90 Mile Straight back at the races. Now, this filly, you know particularly well. What did you make of that first up performance, and how do you assess her chances today?
Yes, I thought her performance was very admirable. She got held up a little bit into the straight at Northern because there wasn't a cutaway, and just had to wait and bide my time. But she hit the line very good. Obviously, Pikey's horse had gone around us and got clear and won quite well, but it didn't seem to go too well over the 1400 on Saturday. Willie's horse that beat her. But look, I think because she's still in the short race, she's going to go very well. And it's a small but very competitive field, this, but looking forward to riding her. She should acquit herself very well.
Only a small field, as you say, Donga, but it looks like Luke's filly might go pretty quick.
Yeah, good morning, Scotty. Yes, definitely. It's obviously got the trial form there, and it's lightning quick, which will be good because, I'd like to be 1-1 in a 5-horse field. It's easy to say from barrier 4, but, it's you could nearly toss a coin with this lot.
Don't disagree with that. I think it's a really even competitive affair to start proceedings. You get a chance to rest up for a little while after the opening event, and then you're back aboard at Real Serenity, who you did trial on the 13th of October. This mare, she's been consistent. Shaun, how do you think she'll fare today over the 1400 metres, albeit it is a Class 1?
Yes, I think the 1400 first up will be just perfect for her. She trialled very well over the 1200, just needed the trial, but obviously she won a staying race her last prep, and look, she's only a fine little individual, but definitely looking forward to her getting through today, and I would say second up she'll go to a mile and then hopefully an 18, then the 2,000 metre race. So it depends how fast they go on this, she might not be able to keep up, but hopefully she acquits herself well.
Now, Shaun, good morning to you. We go to race 7. You're riding a bit of a long shot there for Gino Paletti, your old mate, Pacific boxer. Went to the 2J meeting on that Sunday card and was placed there, coming off a trial there. Is it not one of those horses in the race that you'd exclude from your exotics that can come on, given the fact that it's dropping back to 56 kilos.
Yeah, good morning, Darren. Totally agree, mate. This bloke got to a Class 3 quite quick, and I think he's had a few little issues along the way. His last trial was good, and I was quite happy with his run at 2J. They just ran him off his feet, and he got a little bit tired. But, look, he's carrying 56. He's drawn a good gate. And if he ran in the money somewhere today, I wouldn't be surprised, because he has got ability. But like I stress, he's had a few issues along the way. But I'm pretty sure Gino's got him going not too bad today. Otherwise, you wouldn't be at the races. And obviously, it's not a bad little race, this. But if you throw him in for a novelty, for a place, you might be right.
Speaking of not bad races, that final event today has got some pretty nice 3-year-olds in it. But Define Beautiful, she's a year older than them, but she seems to have found her way again.
Yeah, she's been a bit frustrating for the connections and Trevor and Joe, but I've been very happy with her this prep. She has put a couple of good second placings together. The other races she hasn't featured in, she's kind of mucked the start up a little bit. She gets a bit upset in the barriers, but look, I doubt she'll be too far away. She should be finishing in the top 5. Not sure what order. Hopefully the first order would be lovely for this horse, but she acquits herself well and she's in good form.
Who's the best of your sits today?
Cool. That's a good question. I'd have to toss up between the first and last race.
Yep.
That's for sure. If you tossed a coin, you'd be quite happy to land on either one.
What was your post-race assessment of all plays first up run, Donga?
I know my arms were about 5 foot longer when I come back in. That's for sure. He just raced a bit fresh, unfortunately. Look, he's done well since, and he always kind of, after having a run, he actually settles a little bit better. So I'm looking forward to riding him this Saturday. But he hasn't been the easiest horse to ride over my campaign rides on him, as you can tell. But, geez, when I can get him right and relax a bit, we know he's pretty bloody good, this horse.
Yeah, that he is. Hopefully we see the best version of him on the weekend, Shaun. Hey, great to chat, mate. Best of luck today and also on Saturday.
Yeah, always a pleasure. Thanks, guys. Take care.
Shaun O'Donnell there joining us on the preview, brought to you by Morley Mitsubishi on this Wednesday morning. Gentlemen, 5 horses in the first race. The MCO Polytrack Handicap, 3-year-old No Metro wins in the last year, 1,000-metre race. Well supported, out to $3, now into $2.15. Your favourite Tennessee Spirit, $3.60 90 miles straight, $3.70 Ladies Pro, $8 Call Me Invincible, and $19 Sweet Izzy, the outsider of the field. Pay 1 and 2, obviously. We'll start with you, Digby.
Not sure, TC. I'm really not sure with this race, only because we've got Tennessee Spirit, who showed electrifying speed over the 400, but now gets to 1,000 against horses like 90 Mile Straight, who's had 1,000-metre spin around, and also Ladies Pro, who's trialled up, I thought, very well.
Well, you like 90 Mile Straight first up?
Yeah, I did.
Like the trials?
I did like the trial, and I like the trial of Ladies Pro, who'll be ridden today by Lucy. Had to cover ground in that recent trial, ran second behind one who looks like he's got a motor, it must be said. I'm just not sure, but the money is really strong for the favourite here, Scott.
He's one of Bob Peters, isn't he? The one that beat Ladies Pro in the trials.
He is.
Looks good.
Does.
But for Tennessee Spirit, look, the first thing you want to see in a 400-metre jump out is them break that 24-second barrier. That's normally what you'd use as the sort of the benchmark for how quick they're going. And then you look into who's in that trial. And I think that's probably what sells you on Tennessee Spirit, was that the runner-up was the Perth Stakes winner in Castle Road.
Correct.
And then it's back to Baby Pearl, who's a Saturday winner. So it's not like she beat slouches. And the other thing, excuse me, the lurgy still got me, is that she sort of half jumped sideways.
She did.
But, gee, she must have quick.
She just didn't leave the gates cleanly at all. And I thought it made the performance of the trial, given it was only over a very, very short trip, 400 metres, the time that she ran. But the other thing, too, is she's such a sweet mover. Gee, she's a real type. I think that if she can jump cleanly from barrier 1, spring to the lead, it'll take a nice one to run her down. And what we've seen, because I thought through the back end of that trial, she was getting further and further away from them.
I'm a believer in leaders over 1,000 at Belmont Park.
Yeah.
Everybody knows that. So in the small field of 5, that's the way that I play. But admittedly, at 2:10, 2:15, it's a leap of faith that you're taking from just a 400-metre jump out.
Yeah, and sometimes they can jib at the start, Diggs, can't they? When they look at the starter there on his stand right in front from barrier 1, horses having their first run, they don't always break cleanly as they do sometimes in those barrier trials.
But I think the great thing for the filly and for Chris is that I don't see anything in this field, the other 4 opponents that have got an interest in leading. The rest of them are looking for a little spot to follow.
I think that Chris could dominate this right from the get-go. He can find the front. And Tennessee Spirit will take, I think, a fair bit of running down. But I think Ladies Pro, given the horse that had finished second behind that Cinque Stella, it does look a very nice type, and this is schooled very well also for Grant and Delana. So I'd expect that it'll be attacking the line hard. You've got Call Me Invincible that's got a few runs on the board also. Came out of that same trial as Ladies Pro, and 90 miles straight. She can only but come on out of that first up run behind Moonwalk, and again, she's a very well-related filly, so I'll be putting them in 5, 2, 1 and 3, but like you, Diggs, I wasn't really sure 100% about who I was going to tip in the race.
I'm perhaps more intrigued about this Ladies Pro because we know she's on debut. She's been nommed for the Placid Arc, she's been nommed for the Guineas, and she's also been nommed for the Northerly. Now, it is that time of the year where you throw in the noms and then you work through it.
Throw them all in.
But, clearly she must be showing something at home for them to have that opinion. So, look, I've gone that way. 2 Ladies Pro. I like the trial. I think there's something there. So she's on top from 3, 90 miles straight. 5, Tennessee Spirit, your leader, absolutely, and is going to give some cheek. We know the sire can get a fast horse. And 1, Call Me Invincible. 2, 3, 5, 1.
5 for me, Tennessee Spirit, who's on the 4th line of betting all in the Placid Arc. Hasn't even been to the races yet.
It's bizarre.
It's craziness. 3, 90 miles straight. 2, Ladies Pro, and 1, Call Me Invincible. 5, 3, 2, 1.
That's for Scott Darren with 5, 2, 1 and 3, and Digby with 2, 3, 5 and 1 to kick the day off at Belmont race number 1. Race 2, the Morley Growers Market Maiden over the 1,200 metres, all starting at this stage. $3 into $2.70. Our Girl Can Run. $3.20 the Crimson Pirate, $5 Bondi Lifesaver, $9.50 Refem No Angel, $10 about Pemberton. Then we get out to Gabex at $19. Market Moves, the best one probably, Bondi Lifesaver, $8 into $5. How do we play race number 2, Scott?
I'm going to play How Girl Can Run, but with trepidation because of the barrier and the unknown of whether Holly will go forward or go back, and coupled with the price point, $2.70. I think $2.70 is too short to be backing this filly with those unknowns, but I think she's the one with the most ability in the race. And the reason I say I don't really want to take $2.70 because the Crimson Pirate, one of the main dangers, looks like he's going to get a great run. Pemberton's shown ability at the trials. There's money around for Bondi Lifesaver. I thought this race had more depth than a clear-cut favourite like Our Girl Can Run, so she'd need to be a bit easy for me to be interested. But that first up run behind Playin' It Sweet and Schnitzel Latte, it's the best form by a mile.
Yeah, that it is, but barrier 13 of 13 is certainly a major concern. I think that this is a better than average maiden, to be quite honest. And if you wanted to start with the Crimson Pirate, well, it's a bridesmaid at each of its 3 runs so far, and it's got frank form, though, through Zoo Run, and, maybe to a lesser degree, the 2J Cup winner, Capable Angel. The trial, I thought it was okay without being over the top. I thought it was an all-right kind of a trial. But you get Willie here, and you get him first up. Diggs, one from the trials that I don't know why it's sort of captured my imagination the way that it has. It's a pretty well-related 3-year-old by Harry Angel, half to Charlton Eddy. Doesn't it cover the ground beautifully?
Yeah.
Refem No Angel.
Yeah, agree. Trial was really good, and there's been some form out of that trial already. I think Boutalese came through that trial.
It did. Finished in behind it, but I just love the way that it lengthens through the back end of those trials. It's reaching for ground. It's a value leg, I think, in this race at $9.50 at the moment. I know it's got a sticky gate, but there is something there. It had the winkers on there in the trial. I thought it began okay there, and I love the way that when it went to them, it just put a margin on them in the late stages of the trial. So I'm going to play a bit of value in this one.
Yeah, look, I can understand where you're coming from. He's certainly in my numbers. I just wasn't sure where he got in this race. In saying that, I wasn't convinced that Our Girl Can Run, provided Holly wanted to be positive, Scott, whether she could hit the rail here on this horse. So
I think she can if she wants to.
Yeah, okay.
What do you see there, Diggs, that could push up? Pemberton led them in the trial.
Pemberton led them in the trial. Gabex Shades On is interesting. I wouldn't be thinking Gabex is going to be all that far away from the speed. She's Daval. Alex Hearn, Barrier 1.
Could be.
Could be as well. We know that Alex likes to put his horses on speed. I'm just not convinced that Our Girl Can Run is going to hit the rail.
I've had to drop her down the order because of just the unknown. And there again, I suppose in some part I could say the same about Refem No Angel, who's got, only one run so far under its belt and it was put straight to the paddock, but maybe it's come back better this time around. So, look, I'm going 8 each way. The Crimson Pirate, naturally enough, because he's a competitive galloper, a 3-year-old that's had the 3 runs, 3 placings. You've got franked form all around him. Bondi Lifesaver is an interesting one there for me as well. I thought it finished off good numbers there at Northern behind Moonwalk. I know that there'll be references made to that race as well periodically, and did run second to Refem No Angel in that trial and a half to Queen Lena, so it'll probably benefit from getting out over further a bit later. I think it's another one here that you could include there in the exotics. It is $9 into $5, so there is bullish support. Then Our Girl Can Run. If she happened to find the fence, then she might take a fair bit of cutting down. So you've got to include her. I'm 8, 4, 7, 9, but I've played the second with a bit of value in mind, Diggs.
4, 9, 8, 5 for me. The Crimson Pirate fresh from 9, Our Girl Can Run. 8, Refem No Angel, and 5, Pemberton. The trial I thought was good, Scott.
It was very good of Pemberton's, but 9 for me in Our Girl Can Run. The unknown is where she gets to, but I've no doubt playing at Sweets now won a 66 plus. Schnitzer Latte was luckless in a Max Simmons, and this filly was beaten a length and a quarter. So it's the best race form, but I just don't know where she gets. 5 Pemberton, 4 Crimson Pirate, 7 Bondi Lifesaver, 9, 5, 4, 7.
That's for Scott in race number 2. Macca with 8, 4, 7 and 9. Diggers with the 4 on top to beat 9, 8 and 5. Race 2. We'll get through the third before we get to traffic. $2.90. Did touch as much as $3.30. Now into $3. Boutique Bell's the favourite. $6.50. Capricus Ruler. Opened at 11. Now into $6.50.
Can I do a Tom on you there?
Yeah, I don't know. What's that word?
Capricious.
Okay. Yep, that's what I said. $8.50 into $6.50. Like Pony Hup. It's the Geraldton accent. $7.50 out to $8. Rising Fame. $8 out to 11. None of Your Business, and $9 out to 11. Varisha, double figures. The remainder, 1,200 metre maiden. Boutique Bell, the favourite, drawn a little bit sticky. $3. Macca, which way are we going?
Well, Capricious Ruler's having its first run there, and she's a sister to Lord Gannicus that Elio Galanti, of course, races. And I'm just wondering what the views are of Diggs and Scotty in regards to the form through that barrier trial. They're having run third behind Nickiana, who went to Northern and got the job done on debut in its maiden. But I thought it was more the way that it finished off the trial. I thought there was something there. I think it's one definitely to follow, and quite clearly the debutante who sits at the top of the market there, this well-related filly by Piero and Boutique Bell, again, thinking that she trialled well, but as I said at the top of the program, what do they beat? The horse that ran second in the trial went around at $61 at Northern and finished unplaced. The third horse who came out of that trial was beaten a long way in a subsequent trial. You know the horse has got ability.
And it was horribly slow. Yeah,
exactly. And you start looking at the time, 59.81, as opposed to on the same day, Capricious Ruler went 58.12, 9-10 lengths faster, getting home. And that's the reason I've gone for Capricious Ruler.
Okay.
The 7. I think it can beat 13, Boutique Bell. None of Your Business, I thought would improve coming out of the Moonwalk run. I thought the last part of its first up run was solid. And I'll include Danny Morton's Varisha, who did get out the back. That was in that Cinque Stella trial, but gee, it finished off very well. It was a typical Dan Morton prepared horse trial. getting home inconspicuously behind them. And I thought that Varisha might go very well. There is money for it.
Last preparation, you were throwing out Pony Up pretty much every time she went to the races, and now no love in a maiden.
Geez, I tell you what, I must have dementia. I can't remember tipping Pony Up too many times, Scotty. I think you've thrown a curveball in there, buddy.
Hey.
Trying to get me off guard, eh?
Oh, we're not fighting.
Yeah, no, we're not. We're just having a difference of views and my memory, which is obviously no good. But I'll tell you something about Pony Up. You're right. It's got some decent form behind it, behind some very good 3-year-olds who we go to the Belgravia on the weekend.
Well, that's the thing for me. The run 4 starts to go finished 2.5 off King of Light, who will almost certainly open up favourite ahead of Talk & Co. in the Belgravia on the weekend. Then finished a length off Zoo Run. She's also going to a Belgravia and carried 57 kilos that day. And then she finished her campaign where she took off at the sort of 6 to 800 and tried to sustain a run around them, beaten 2.5 My Authoritar, and the runner-up was Country God. So, in fact, the last 4 or 3 races she's been in, King of Light, Zoo Run, My Authoritar, Country God, all 4 of them go to the Belgravia.
Oh, it's all coming back to me now, Scotty. I think I might have tipped it a few. I might change my selections.
And she's now all of a sudden first up into a maiden. She comes through that Tennessee Spirit, Baby Pearl, Castle Road, Jump Out. She can hold up close handy in a race with a lot of back markers. I thought she was value here, Pony Up. A lot of it's disappeared. She's now 850 out to 10 into 650. But I'm going to roll the dice with her. So 11 Pony Up, 13 Boutique Belle, visually really good. Query's the same as Mac at the time and the Who was around her that day. 7 Capricious Ruler finishes off strongly, and 15 Varisha. So all very similar, but I'm going to go with Pony Up. 11, 13, 7, 15.
I'm with the regularly bred debutante Boutique Belle. I like the way that she moved in the trial. Yes, it wasn't a quick time, but I think there's some upside there. So 13 on top from 11, Pony Up for the reasons outlined. 3 Rising Fame, genuine excuses back there in early September, has since trialled. Barrier 4 should get a better run today, and 12, None of Your Business. It was a decent enough effort the other day. 13, 11, 3 and 12.
For Digby in race 3, Macca with 7, 13, 12 and 15, and Scott with the 11, 13, 7 and 15, race number 3 at Belmont.
You're listening to the midweek preview for Morley Mitsubishi. Drive away the Triton GLX 4x4 dual cab for $45,990 today. Go to Morley Mitsubishi, 212 Walter Road, Morley, or morleymitsubishi.com.au.
Big thank you to the team at Morley Mitsubishi for sponsoring the Wednesday midweek preview. Of course, they do the same on Saturday's inside running. We're up to race number 4 there at Belmont. It's over the 1,400 metres. A maiden, scratch 6, 14, 19 and 20. The favourite at $2.10 in from $2.90, Streamlined. $4.80, Gravity Defying. $5, Mass Mallow. $10 About Spellborn. Mr. Frodo at 19. So the well-supported favourite. Gravity Defying also $7 into $4.80, but as mentioned, there are a couple of scratchings in the race. Diggers, race number 4. How do we go?
Well, again, we're staring down the barrel here of a Peter's Investment debutante. Scotty, if you're a little bit ho-hum about the trial of Boutique Belle, what did you make of this one?
Don't get me wrong, I'm not ho-hum about the trial of Boutique Belle. I thought she trialled well. I just thought there was more value in Pony Up. But I think for Streamlined, I love the trial. I really like the trial.
The second of them was really good.
When the shades have been on, it looks like he's just screaming out for ground. He's only getting warm late. And I like the way that Clint Johnston Porter rode him in that trial, just to really make him attack the line and hit top gear.
It's like when you compare the 2 trials, the previous one without the blinkers, he just hacked through the line and just was working it all out from face value at least. And yet, as soon as the shades go on, there's more game time. There's more, let's go. We're ready to roll. Finished off the trial really strongly. And I thought that it suggested that 1,400 metres was going to be absolutely no issue whatsoever.
I think there's a legitimate chance that both Streamlined here today and then Westbound tomorrow up at Geraldton both win and both go to the Faritha at their next start. And then all of a sudden you go, okay, we've now got sort of Bob's in the game with the 3-year-olds.
Seems to be the case, doesn't it? Can you build a case here for a horse who's got the benefit of fitness and didn't have any luck at all last start when it was going to run to the Masmello? Drawn a bit of a sticky gate here. In the market, on the 7 days, 15 back to 14, was going up near the fence and then all of a sudden just crashed straight into a brick wall. And any momentum that it was building was gone, and then it was trying to pick up and get going again. I thought there was something there to like about that performance, and indeed the first up run to the talented linchpin.
And add into the mix Hoya Destroyer, Vexatious Rose, Miss Verve. It's a good winner-producing race. I think she's going super. I feel for Luke Campbell because it's almost a case of damned if you do, damned if you don't. If you go out and park 3 and 4 deep, you cover ground, or if you go back to the inside and ride for a bit of luck, sometimes you don't get it. It's a sticky ride, I thought, for Masmello again, but going really well. What about the trial of Gravity Defying?
Yes, good trial.
I thought it was really good.
Yep.
Just the way that he cut back towards the inside. If you watch nothing more than his last 75, that's when he really starts to pick up.
Yeah, sort of settled up their third rail and getting through. A nice trial. I liked it.
So I'm going to go 13. I'm going to go streamlined. I'm going to go the debutantes here. I'm going to go 13 streamlined from 12 Gravity Defying. 11 Spellborn, who was pretty luckless in the race behind Peaceful Ruler on debut at Northam, just couldn't get going when he needed to. And 16 Masmello, so 3-year-olds win or Scott loses. 13, 12, 11, 16.
13, 16, 12 and 5 for me. Quite keen here. Streamlined on top from Masmello. Going really well. Just needs an ounce of luck. 12, Gravity Defying for the reasons that we've touched on. And 5, Mr. Frodo. I thought the recent effort at Bunbury was sound enough behind Social Affair, who was in the market. I know didn't go according to the market expectations last week, but he's better than that. 13, 16, 12 and 5.
I've got great respect for Streamlined out of that mare, Diggs, who we do remember very fondly. Gee, she was a really good mare for Bob and Sandra Peters, wasn't she?
Yep.
Silver Stream, the Listia winner. She was in and amongst all of the top races for a fair while. But I do think that Masmello's benefit of fitness and being back at Belmont Park, where it absolutely attacked the line brilliantly first up, and then no luck at all at Ascot. We go back to Belmont Park today. The fit horse, 16, I'll play it. I don't know if the value's there. It's at $5. You'd want that, maybe more. 13 Streamlined, 12 Gravity Defying, Scotty, like you, coming through that trial, I concur, and 11 Spellborn also. So the same numbers, but they're just in a little bit of a different order, TC. 16, 13, 12 and 11.
That's for Macca. Scott's with 13, 12, 11 and 16. And Diggers is with 13, 16, 12 and 5. Race number 4 at Belmont. Race number 5, moving on, the Key Clean Handicap, the Class 1 over the 1,000 metres, all starting at this stage. Savage Dancer at 340, been very solid at that quote. Overdrive on the back of a very nice trial, has been backed in 550 to 370. Spicy Thang, $4. Order online, $8. $10 about Galway Shaw, 15 and upwards at the remainder of the field. Class 1 1,000 metre race. 1,000 metres barrier 11. He's going to have to go back, Scott, the favourite.
She went forward in her trial, but I agree with you. I think on race day, with the speed that's underneath, Spicy Thang, Sanctions, Mackwell Smart.
Even Overdrive.
There's plenty of them there. I think they'll have no choice but to go back here today on Savage Dancer. So I've got a lot of time for her. I think she's quite good, but I think at the same time she's going to have to be pretty sharp to zap them.
Really good at Bunbury on debut. It was an impressive turn of foot on soft ground there that she got through after Pike was able to work her to the middle of the course. I love the way that she hit the line. They put her straight out in the paddock there. That trial behind Elite Bow, of course, St James, who you found there on the weekend, first up out of the trial. In fact, it's been a very good trial because there were 2 previous winners that finished in behind them as well. Look, I think it's a great chance, but look, if horses could run up to what they can produce in trials from time to time, Overdrive is going to take a fair bit of beating. It was ultra impressive, Diggs.
Yes, and there's no knock here. Has to carry the 60, but you're right. The trial was good now. It comes back from a little bleed, so expecting...
So get it fresh. Get it nice and fresh. And she's a consistent mare, as you can see.
Yep.
But she was held together like she had a choker hold on her going to the line.
Agree.
I thought that she was dynamite in the trial. If she can run to that, and that's the big question, if in inverted commas, then Overdrive will take a fair bit of beating, particularly at the 1,000 metres, Scotty. Your numbers are very, very accurate there with the horses that struggle to go back and win over the 1,000. It's one of those distance races now at Belmont Park where you've got to try and find them in the first, 4 thereabouts normally on percentage. And I think Overdrive can lob there from barrier 3. So I think the point that you made there, the fact that she's a mare that's had a little bleed, they come back and they can go very well fresh in their campaign, and I'm rolling the dice and hoping that is going to happen there with Overdrive. So I'm 3 from 8. Savage Dancer. Back to a Class 1 order online through the Elite Bow Run. First up, Pinjarra Maiden winner back there in the middle of the year. And 5 Sanctions. I thought maybe for some value. It'll ride the speed. Didn't have any blinkers on in the trial, which it led. So it makes the top 4.
3 for me as well, Overdrive, as costly as she was last prep. I just think she's right place, right time here today. She should be the first one that can attack those tiring leaders. From 8, Savage Dancer, I'm very wary of her. She may simply be a class above them, but we'll wait and see. At the price, I'm happy to just risk her today. 10, Spicy Thang. She's only got one trick, and that is she goes very fast.
I thought 56 might get hold of her today. She's not a big filly, Scotty.
Yeah, up 4.5 week to week is a struggle, especially considering that she will have to burn some petrol early to cross them from the outside as well. And 6 in Galway, Shaul, who was a dynamite debut winner and probably got out to a silly price considering how well she'd trialled across her career. 3, 8, 10, 6.
Gone searching for a little bit of value here, and on the quick spin order online, barrier 4, 60 kilos, so it does rise the 2, but comes back from a Class 3 to a Class 1 in the space of 7 days and was beaten 2 3/4 behind Elite Bow last week. Now, I think we all expect that Elite Bow is going to more than measure up on a weekend. So 2 each way. From 6, Galway Shaul, 3, Overdrive, love the trial, and 8, Savage Dancer. I just thought that maybe this mare would settle rearward and would have too much work to do over the concluding stages. 2 each way from 6, 3 and 8.
That's for Diggers. Scott with 3, 8, 10 and 6. Macca, can you just repeat your numbers, please?
I've gone Overdrive as well. I'm 3 from 8, 2 and 5.
8, 2 and 5 behind at number 3 on top. All right, moving on to the next race, which is race number 6 on the program. Tab Touch, have you got the touch? Handicap, Class 1, 1,400 metres, no scratchings. 3.10, the favourite, Pure Obsession. 4.20, Shazar. 6.50, Grandad's Addiction. $7, Olaf the Snowman. $10, Rivercrest Magic. 15 and up the remainder of the field. Touched as much as 3.80, but into 3.10. Scott, your best of the day is number 2. Why is that?
I think it's just a nice race for him, TC. I've got a lot of horses here that I don't have a lot of fear about. Let's put it that way. It's probably the politically correct way of putting it. So far in his life, he's won well on debut. He's gone straight to a Saturday. He probably had a run at the end of last prep at a mile where he'd nearly had enough, but it was also an on-speed dominated event behind Miraschino. 2 trials in. The first one, he looked a little bit uncomfortable on that shifting trial track, and the second of them, he was in a 72-plus heat as only a 62 horse, so he was in the wrong trial and still finished within 3 lengths of rope them in. He didn't have his shades on either. First up run, he drew barrier 1, he tracked up in behind them in a Class 3, and he finished 2 lengths off Fast Harry. Now, I'm a nearly captain of the Fast Harry fan club. He'll win again on Sunday. Pure Obsession back to a Class 1 in a very thin race. I thought he got his chance, and I thought the price was pretty fair, to be honest. He's still better than $3. So 2 for me, Pure Obsession. Mr. Webb's yard's going well. From 1, Grandad's Addiction. The first up victory was strong. Was it a bit fluky? It was 30s or 40 to 1. Beaten 2 1/4 in a Class 1 Pharaoh show, then went to that Saturday event behind Wembanyama and Lynchpin. Wembanyama wins again. Lynchpin's got a big expectation on his shoulders, back to the right setup.
As weird as this is to say, Scotty, the 9th of 11 probably is better than the 2 previous runs where he won and was placed. I thought his effort there was fantastic because he hunted a cracking pace. It was run well faster than average, 136 and change, and was there to the 100-metre mark.
He was tough. He certainly was.
And Wembanyama's come out and won again.
Back to 1,400 metres, drawn to probably have a little sit run today in behind the speed. It looks a nice setup for him. 5, Shazare, lightly raced mare, trialled well, looks to have ability, but then after that I thought it dropped off considerably. I went down to 11, Rivercrest Magic, but she's run 3rd at York, so that there's not a lot to work with, I didn't think, after the main couple in the market. 2, 1, 5 and 11, but happy to be with Pure Obsession today.
Darren?
One for me, Grandad's Addiction. I think I might have telegrammed that because of the reasons. Drop in class, back in distance, as I say. And Jay Whiting back on board too. Jason's the regular there. He's been the only rider bar Holly last start and found herself in that vulnerable spot there, having to chase up that pacemaker that just wouldn't relent until it ran out of gas, and Grandad's Addiction was still there and then getting swamped in the last 100. So back to 14. I thought maybe at the price today there for Grandad's Addiction, $6.50, take a little bit of that to beat 2 Pure Obsession. 11 Rivercrest Magic, no weight, goes to 1,400, only its second start for the stable. And albeit it was at York, but it came off the back of a nice run prior to that here at Belmont in the Fillies and Mares Class 1 when it got to the line strongly. Found the fence. I see that they've put the blinkers straight back on and they've removed the winkers. So with 51 kilos, not the worst of them. Could be a little, not a fluker's hope. It's not that long in the market. And then 5 Shazare will go from 1 to 11 and then to 5 in the pick 4.
2584 for me, Pure Obsession as well. Shazare, trial was good, will be better over further, but 1,400 I thought was a good start point. I left the Snowman, shades on, going okay, and 4 Real Serenity. We had a good chat to Donga before. 2584, I think Pure Obsession awfully hard to beat.
2, 5, 8 and 4 for Diggers. Darren with 1, 2, 11 and 5, and Scott with 2, 1, 5 and 11 in race number 6. Race number 7 on the program, 1,200 metres, all starting. Delta Sun will be popular, opened at $1.95 out to $2.25, back into $1.95. Flagship at $4.80, Cryptic Joy at $7.50, De Grand Home at $8 and Golden Door at $14. Hard to tip around the favourite, Macca, I would have thought.
Yeah, exactly. Delta Sun, we see him line up for the second time this campaign. He went straight to the Max Simmons Classic. On return, he copped a lemon draw. He got posted deep, no cover there. As a result of that, they ran time, 57.73. He trialled up before then without any shades on. And I still thought that, you know, he would take a lot of improvement from the trial. He'll take a lot of improvement out of the first up run. I think it gets down now, Diggs, Scotty, as to what price he'll be at the finish of betting. He's now into $1.95. He's firmed in from not much longer, around the 205 mark, I think he might have been. But you think that he's going to run deep in the red?
I think he'll get pretty short. I'm thinking somewhere around the 180 marker for Delta Sun by the time that they load them in. He makes sense, though. Placement-wise, he wouldn't have been completely out of place going to the 1,200 metres of the Belgravia on the weekend.
He's got a good race in him. I'm adamant of that.
Do you know what I really like? The fact it's at Belmont Park and he's a big wind-up horse. It's the first time he's been here. And I think that it's going to also probably add to his prospects today to win. So I think that he's a standout on the card. Delta Sun, pretty talented horse. You get horses like Flagship, consistent but don't win necessarily out of turn, back to a Class 3. I think in this grade, well suited there. It'll be one of those that you consider putting into the exotics. The win of De Grand Home, second up at Geraldton, was very good, and looks as though it might have, come back really well, this preparation. Looks a picture. And Golden Door, I don't think Lucy really did much on it in the barrier trial there, and that was to Scorpion Ruler. He's got some ability, this horse, as we know. Fast Harry ran third in the barrier trial, so that might be enough for me to include Golden Door into the pick 4 in this race. But 9, 4, 3, 1. I think the best horse, the horse with all the upside, there's Delta Sun.
Agree. 9 Delta Sun. I'm going to throw one in there at any old price, and that's Bow Talk off the back of the trial where he held off Astro World, who won first up. He was actually pretty stiff first up, 1,200 last preparation too, and he'll jump 40 to 1. So as an exotic player there, 9 from 7. 4 Flagship, Market loves him, I'm not convinced, and 8 Cryptic Joy, who had an excuse first up behind Surfside Session on a Saturday. 9, 7, 4 and 8.
Yeah, I thought Delta Sun awfully hard to beat today, TC. He goes on top from 8 Cryptic Joy, 3 De Grand Home and 4 Flagship. 9, 8, 3 and 4.
For Diggers, Macca with 9, 4, 3 and 1 with an asterisk, and Scott with 9, 7, 4 and 8. The final event on the program, 8 races. Wisely Workwear Handicap, Class 3, Fillies and Mares this time, 1,200 metres, $4 about Estimarada. Riva Aquarama at 420, Divine Beautiful at 650, Silent Diva at 750, Cheryl Shout at 850, and Gold Flakes heads the remainder at $13. A nice way to finish the day, Diggers.
It is indeed. And I touched on it before. We had a good chat to Shaun O'Donnell, and I thought he was every chance of saluting here in the final event on the day, albeit aboard a mare who has not won for 683 days. We talk about Fast Harry Scott. We like the horse. The recent runner-up placing behind that animal was sound enough from a mare who looks like she's just continuing to build.
She is, but I'll play a bit of devil's advocate here. My concern is that she might run into a couple of sharp fillies. Riva Aquarama, Esther Mirando, Silent Diva. They look like they've got upside, and not that she doesn't, but she's 1 from 14.
Correct.
And the other trio are very lightly raced and look like they're still improving.
Yeah, I think you'll get a good run for your money because she's back in the zone again, Define Beautiful. But whether or not she can beat these up-and-comers, Esther Mirando was awfully impressive at Northam, and then they just parked her up straight after that. Victory back on September 14. I think they've got a pretty high opinion of Esther Mirando, and good luck to our old mate Malcolm Gregory Brown. Diggs, who's a part owner of Esther Mirando, and he's very excited at this time of his life to have a share in a nice horse like her on the way through. And then Riva Aquarama, we'll get a good form reference from the 5th with Overdrive through the trial there, because I thought it was a really solid trial by this filly. She has come up with a sticky gait, though, for her return to racing, but she's got form on the board. I think they're the three, anyway, at least, that can finish in the placings in the last.
Well, I mean, each way, Define Beautiful, she surely finishes top 4,
yep.
And she just needs to be top 3, and then you're turning a sneaky profit on the places side, I suppose. But look, I'm off the back of what she produced on debut, I became a bit of a believer in Esther Mirando. I didn't see it coming. I didn't think her trials showed all that much, but she was really powerful down the outside at Northam. She's somewhere between 5 and 6 weeks between runs. We saw it last week with Fine Star, just freshen up those good ones and then beat the older horses. 13 Esther Mirando, 3 Riva Aquarama. I'd be surprised if both of them don't progress through to the Burgess Queen on Melbourne Cup Day. 9 Silent Diva. It looks as though they've been just searching around for the right setup for her. She's been nommed a few times, and she finally now comes to the races.
It was a better trial the other day too.
Yes, much better. And 5 Define Beautiful, who's right back in the zone. 13, 3, 9, 5.
Yeah, same 4. 13, 3, 5, 9. Again, they, I think, will fight the finish of the last. Silent Diva's one so impressive on debut. It really captured the attention and then went into that run behind Rostislav on the straight 5 at Penny. And Rostislav did very well to run third behind Talk and Co and Luana Miss in the race the other day, the Max Simmons. So, that's not the worst, and I think that the second of those trials suggests that maybe she's ready to turn the corner again. 13, 3, 5 and 9. Not that she has to turn too many corners.
5 each way, Define Beautiful from 3, Riva Aquarama. Good to see her back at the races. I think she's well above average. 2, Invincible Ruby. I was with this mare first up on a Saturday. That was opening day, settled rearward. The way that race was run, never any chance of playing a part. Still was only beaten 3.5 behind Surfside Session. Hopefully, with that 57 kilos today and a better gate, she can settle a pair or two closer. And 13, Esther Mirando. 5 each way from 3, 2 and 13.
That's for Diggers. Macca with 13, 3, 5 and 9, and Scott with 13, 3, 9 and 5. Anything to add to your best bet, Scott?
No, just race 6, number 2, Pure Obsession for me.
All right, race 7, number 9 for you, Macca.
Hopefully it doesn't get too short. Race 7, 9, Delta Sun, my best for the day. Each way, 2 all-day. Race 2, number 8, Refem No Angel at nearly $10.
All right, so that will be the play of the day.
The play for the day for me is going to be race 5, number 3, Overdrive, and then roll it up into race 1, Grandad's Addiction. I think there's a little bit of value there we can build into it. So, and my lay for the day, only because of the bad barrier, race 2, number 9, and I've tipped Refem No Angel, and that's our girl can run at the 270 or thereabouts. I thought that she could be vulnerable from that draw.
Okay, play, Scott.
Race 4. Number 13, Streamlined. Number 12, Gravity Defying to run the Quinella.
Right. Lay.
Race 6, number 5, Shazare.
All right. Enjoy your day.
Check the price about Tennessee Spirit in the first 2, TC.
What price is it now?
Madness, 180.
All right. Kick off the day with a bang. Enjoy. We'll be back shortly on the Sports
mate.
Daily.